You know what's always lame? When an established performer does a team up with a newer one. It's just so transparently the old guy trying to leech off the newer one's relevance while the new guy tries to borrow the older one's credibility. Isn't that right, younger, newer music critic?
Oh, heck yeah it is. You want to do a crossover?
Do I? Booyah! Todd and Rap Critic review a terrible movie!
So we get drunk.
For much of 2012, radios were bumping to Young, Wild and Free, a damn catchy song from the team-up collaboration of living legend Snoop Dogg and hot up-and-comer Wiz Khalifa, two rappers now known pretty much exclusively for smoking unfathomable amounts of weed.
Also for doing guest verses in shitty pop songs.
Bikinis, bikinis, martinis, no win. And you'll be right at home waiting for me. iPhone plugged in the wall just waiting for me. You need a boyfriend, and I can be that. Holla at me, hit me on my video chat. That little piece of shit with you.
But despite that, both still want you to take them seriously as rappers and want to be considered hood and down with the ghetto and not total pop sellouts, so they didn't just make an album together. No, they started an entire movie together, a stoner comedy called Mac and Devin Go to High School.
And Young, Wild and Free was inextricably tied to it. Snoop and Wiz are rapping in character as Mac and Devin about the plot of the movie.
Had the size project, me and Mac killed it. THC.
And yet, even with the song hyping it up everywhere, I couldn't find evidence that this movie even existed. When I went to the Mac and Devin website, it told me everything about the soundtrack, but nothing about the movie, which eventually limped to DVD without a theatrical release in June. First Sunday made it to theaters. The Wash made it to theaters. Who's Your Caddy made it to theaters, but even a hit song couldn't push Mac and Devin to anything but a direct-to-video dumpage slot.
Basically, it has to be considered a lesser entry in Snoop Dogg's film career, which is really an incredible statement when you think about it.
How can a movie be so shameful that even Snoop Dogg wouldn't promote it? Well, let's find out.
And stay out! Man, this girl's trying to fuck up my day. Talking about she want to watch a romantic comedy.
What? Okay, well, looks like we're gonna start off with some peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time!
No, Todd, that's not a banana, that's a joint.
My name is Slow Burn, and I am your movie guide. We will be watching Mac and Devin Go to High School.
Well, let's have no confusion about what kind of movie we're watching then.
Go to the bathroom, turn off your annoying-ass cell phone, get a big-ass popcorn, and a cup of ice-cold carbonated sugar water.
Wait, is that lit blunt being played by Mr. Cow? Yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. Shake your ass, watch yourself.
Yeah, he was the only one out of Masterpiece label that I could actually tolerate as a rapper, kinda. Hey, where's he been anyway?
6 years in jail for rape.
Okay, moving on.
You missing one key ingredient, nigga. How you gonna watch a motherfucking weed movie without no motherfucking weed? Get your papers, your bones, your bowls, your blunts, some fat-ass nugs of that good, and spark that shit up!
You have an excellent point, badly animated talking blunt. Yeah, I think we need to light one up.
Yeah, I think we need to get blazed.
Yeah, we need a couple of fat blunts.
Yeah, hell yeah, man, you holding?
No, I don't really smoke pot.
Oh, me neither.
But please, stop this movie right now. It just won't work. You can't watch this shit without no weed. Stop.
Todd,
you don't play baseball.
I think we made a terrible mistake.
You don't play baseball without no bat, do you? Exactly.
Actually, I don't even agree with him. I love movies like How High, Half Baked, and Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, and I never smoked anything for them. They were funny to me regardless, and hey, if your writers are strictly relying on their audience having their mind altered before they can have any ability to enjoy the material, normally we would call that movie something like terrible or unfunny. When someone says, man, you have to be high in order to watch this, it's kind of an insult. They're applying the same rule to stoners as they do to 4-year-olds. Hey, are we sure this movie wasn't produced by Adult Swim? And hey, I'm not asking them to make bold artistic statements. I'm just asking them to make me laugh.
Okay, well, ignoring the anthropomorphic joint, let's talk about the movie proper.
Well, good morning. How's my favorite MILF doing today?
Stressed.
You stressed? I got just what you need.
First, there's Snoop playing the drug dealer Mac. Now, I had assumed that this would be something like Back to School or the 21 Jump Street movie where they have to go back to high school for some reason, but it turns out that Snoop is playing some kind of super senior who's been in high school for 15 years, which still makes him about 10 years too old to play this role.
Yeah, those years crossed out on his jacket are funny, but to be accurate, they'd probably have to start in 1987.
Meanwhile, Wiz Khalifa plays the overachieving school valedictorian.
Wiz Khalifa as a nerd? Yeah, no. You've already used up your stretching of disbelief privileges as a movie if you expect me to buy that. I'd have an easier time believing him as Eleanor Roosevelt.
At least casting him as a teenager explains that horrible peach fuzz stash. Also, there's Andy Milonakis of Hey, Whatever Happened to Andy Milonakis fame.
You remember? The man who physically looks like he's 12 years old but mentally acts like he's 12 years old? Yeah, this movie's gonna suck.
And then there's the antagonist, Assistant Principal Skin Flute.
Got life messed up, you kids. I'm old school. That means I don't play that shit.
Wow, Mike Epps looks like they dragged him out of bed for this one.
Wait, those Asian guys. Wait a minute, is that the Far East movement?
Whatever, man.
Cause I
It
knew
is.
he'll get in one of y'all.
Holy crap, what are they doing here? How long exactly was this movie on the shelf? Because this must have been filmed before the end of 2010, during the month they were famous.
You remember what they look like? I'm still trying to remember what they sound like. From what I remember from their Like a G6 song, I thought they were one white chick.
That fool Skin Flute jacking for that master kush has got to be in here somewhere. Come here. This is the last time you feast your eyes on my big, fat, long, succulent, mouth-watering, whoop-wop-but-a-doo-dah.
Get it? It sounds like they're talking about sex. Ha ha ha.
I knew it'd be big, but I've never seen anything this big.
Get it? Look at that joint. It's bigger than a regular sized joint. Ha ha ha.
Mac! Skinny dick. You wanna hit?
So, did you want to write a punchline for that scene, or what? Anyways, meanwhile, Wiz is working on his speech.
High school. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. It's the times that try men's soul. Ask not what high school can do for you, but what you could do. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. It's time for me to write a new speech.
Well, maybe you should first start with writing your own speech.
My God, that acting, that was...
That was horrible.
Yeah, what he said.
Know what this is I'm filling out?
What, an order for some medium-sized condoms?
No. These are your expulsion papers.
Dude, he's like 53 years old and he's supplying drugs to minors. Just have him arrested.
As you probably have noticed, Assistant Principal Skin Flute is played here by what appears to be the world's worst John Hodgman impersonator. Which makes sense, because, get it? He's a Mac, and he's a PC, which in this case stands for Poorly Written Character.
Assistant Principal Skin Flute. All expulsions are handled by me, personally.
Yes, but this student always seems to get off with you.
Does he? Do you mind giving us a few minutes?
So, how often has Snoop had to bone the old lady to not get expelled? Is this a common occurrence? Anyway, the film gives us a number of other stock characters, all of whom get about 2 scenes each because this movie just doesn't care. There's Devin's rival.
What are you talking about, Mahatma?
That's Mahatma Chang Greenberg to you.
His controlling girlfriend.
But no pressure though, babe. Just don't fuck up or I'll dump you.
And Snoop also has a love interest, a hot new teacher who turns down his advances because she has rules.
Let's say you, me, and little buddy right here make 3.
Sorry, I don't date students.
Yeah, especially students who are 20 years older than you.
Improper use of lab glassware is a hazard, you know?
Did you know that motherfucking outfit you got on is a style hazard?
What are you doing here anyway? Not smart enough to be in this class.
Not like me. I am smart and a valedictorian.
I've spoken with your teacher and he wants you all to present a research project for your final grade.
Anyway, they get
Partners are
teamed up to do a
as
science
follow:
project
Harding and
together,
Pell,
which means the cool guy and the nerd have to work together in the grand kid and play tradition.
And Overstreet and Johnson.
What?
God damn it, Wiz. All you had to do was say, what? How hard is that? How do you deliver a single word that badly? It wasn't a Shakespearean monologue. Anyway, Snoop and Wiz try to work together, but Snoop quickly derails the proceedings.
Eddie, motherfucker.
What's up, Super Freight?
I'm sorry, man. I just get low on blood sugar and... Come on.
Relax. I got just what you need.
You know, in most movies where a way older guy gets a younger person high without their consent, they would usually be the bad guy of the movie.
Didn't know you like to get wet, though. Dust, PCP. That's what you had?
But it's okay here because, hey, it's friggin' Snoop Dogg.
The green goddess, ganja goodies, curry cookies.
Yeah, maybe okay isn't quite the word for it. But Wiz totally starts getting into it anyway.
Yo, Mac, it's like I got this track playing in my head. It's like perfectly synchronized to my movements and everything.
Let that shit out. Man, let me hear it, man.
Every time I go, well, I'm blowing that smoke out. I buy it, don't even know the price. I talk as I live it, come pay me a visit, and I'll be somewhere up in the sky.
So yes, the character who's never smoked pot on purpose, like ever, had a song about smoking pot rattling around in his head. Yeah, sure. So what happens next is the rejected video for sensual seduction? Is this what's supposed to happen when you're high on weed? Cause that's not what happens. What happens is stuff becomes funnier and music slightly speeds up. Comically, the effects of weed are actually kind of mundane.
Wait a minute, since when do you know so much about getting high?
What are you, a cop?
Or wait till one of my hoes come round and roll it all. Or say fuck it and cuff it till I go smoke with dog.
It's becoming abundantly clear to me that this movie only exists as a cheaply made promotional tie-in for its own soundtrack, which I think that's kind of the opposite of the way it's supposed to work, isn't it?
You got to do you like I do me. You dig?
How the fuck did we get here?
We flew, nigga.
Also, we forgot to film that scene. Anyway, Mac immediately goes through the process of corrupting young innocent Devin.
You got your indica, you got your hybrids over there. You have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, huh?
No.
Don't trip. I got exactly what you need.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your friendly neighborhood weed plant, Captain Kush.
So, if I'm counting correctly, this movie has literally two different, unrelated characters that are talking anthropomorphic cannabis. Most movies would say one is enough. Not this one.
Okay, so then they smoke pot and then they smoke pot and after this scene I guess they're still smoking pot.
You know, I thought Mac and Devin go to high school was gonna be like some kind of wacky adventure, like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, but it's really not. Mac and Devin go to high school because they're in high school. They may as well have called it Mac and Devin Breathe Oxygen.
Aren't stoner comedies supposed to be zany with like wacky characters and adventures? This is like if Dude, Where's My Car was literally just two guys in a parking lot looking for their car.
Hey Mac, man, what's up, man? Where the weed at, man? Hey Mac, let me get some weed, bro. Can I get some weed, man?
By the way, there are a billion different interludes throughout the movie of people sending video messages asking to buy weed from Mac. I guess to convey the idea that Mac is a drug dealer, in case you didn't get that. Not a single one of them is funny, and most of them aren't even trying to be.
Hey Mac, Dr. Andrews, third period English. These crazy kids give me a migraine. Think you could hook me up with a joint to relieve the pain?
Tip for life: if you're a teacher conducting a transaction for illegal drugs with a student, don't film it.
In addition to those scenes, there are also endless ramblings from slow burn, plus silly stylized transitions that go on way too long. And even despite the fact that this movie has more padding than a sumo wrestler costume, it's still only 75 minutes long. Snoop's released music videos with more plot than this. So anyway, we go back to the main plot where the two of them are getting ready for the talent show.
Science project.
Science project, yes, science project.
I'm working on this alternative energy source, which if successful could change everything about how we consume energy in this country. Shit, the world. This is what we're making. The catalytic ingredient. It should yield a brand new energy source.
It's pot.
Fuck, man.
It's pot. The missing ingredient is pot. Spoilers. The secret ingredient is going to be pot. In this movie that revolves entirely around pot, in which two characters literally are pot, yes, the science project will be rescued with pot. Sorry for giving that away. It was going to be mind-blowing when you found out.
Also, here we have a scene where Snoop and his buddies do pot smoking tricks. Good God, could you guys use something better than After Effects on a trial version of Premiere?
We got this covered. Watch this.
Hey, watch this, watch this. No.
She tooted and pooted.
Dude, She just farted. That was it. She just farted and he sucked it into his mouth.
Remember, kids, if you smoke pot, you too can be this cool. Well, now that Wiz is no longer playing an uptight nerd, maybe his acting will get better.
Socrates said, I think, therefore I am. Or some other famous philosopher said, I am what I am, what I am.
You have never been high in your life.
So then they smoke some more weed. I really don't see why they bothered to film a scripted movie when they could have just pointed a camera at both of these guys during a normal day. Anyway, Mac's gonna do Devin a solid and get him laid.
Can we speak with Mama Son? These places on the menu get all types of diseases.
What you want?
Trying to get my boy hooked up with some of that good.
Okay, how much you have?
Wait, so this grand, fantastic pimp player perpetually popped collar named Mac can't get any ass for Devin without paying for it?
Just don't pay.
I mean, I'm confused. Weren't they hanging around chicks for the past 40 minutes? What happened? Were those girls contracted to be eye candy only? So, he had sex with that chick, and since I'm too lazy to figure out how that black box thing works, I'm just gonna cut to the part where Wiz's girl Ashley texts him about how she knows that he's out at a massage parlor. How does she know that?
Let's celebrate.
Oh, what, seriously? If that's what you're going for, why not just paste in the Benny Hill theme? No, we're not going to. Too obvious.
Hey, what's happening? What y'all open here for?
Weed. So not for prostitution? Okay, but with his girlfriend, who knows that he's had sex with someone else and has been putting her off and has been doing all kinds of illegal stuff, is still willing to pull strings to bail him out? This ultra-controlling girlfriend seems a bit more forgiving than most ultra-controlling girlfriends would be.
So, because Devin doesn't try to bail Mac out, probably due to the ruining of his life and all, which was done, need I remind you, without his consent, Mac somehow gets two Latina chicks to bail him out instead, whom he turns down for a three-way because, you know, Mac has his heart set on that teacher chick he barely talked to earlier.
Baby, right now, I'm currently a one-hoe bro.
What am I supposed to do in the meantime?
I don't know. What about her?
Huh. I don't know whether to be offended because it was so sexist or because it wasn't even a little hot.
You know, I've been thinking, man. I think on this record, nigga, shit up. Fucking boy. You know that. Yeah. Yep, that right there.
Life like it's a party when y'all stop.
Delta 9. Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Oh, you mean like in How High? That movie we could have watched instead? Okay, let's wrap this up. So Snoop Dogg gets found out as a cheater and has to answer one question in order to pass. Of course, he answers correctly, despite never demonstrating any knowledge concerning math, because the writer wants to end this just as much as I do. And finally, they get to this fundraiser.
Graduation speech.
The graduation speech, whatever. And they finish it off.
High school. It's the best of times. It's the worst of times. Well, actually, this is something a friend of mine taught me. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees.
And then they kindly escort him off stage and don't let him graduate. Nah, everything goes fine, as...
We want your car!
Typical women, only concerned with intelligence. Yeah, and he sings Young, Wild, and Free with a dance crew? This movie can barely afford graphics that you see in a local car dealership commercial, but they cared to pay money for a choreographer?
Well, as this is basically just a long, half-assed music video, you want to review the song then?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so when Wiz says...
Now it's time for my valedictorian speech. So many people in the world still look down on marijuana. What a shame. No matter what field you in, be it creative, blue or white collar, there are a lot of genius motherfuckers that puff herb on the regular. So, does that make you think?
Really? A pseudo-inspirational speech about weed?
It opens up your mind to new ideas.
You guys made this. No! And you clearly did that while high. So do you really think now is the time to tell us that weed is a good thing?
We have a safe way to relax, expand, grow our minds, and all from a beautiful, wonderful smelling plant that grows on this earth.
Holy Christ, I don't want to hear someone lecture me why marijuana should be legal. I live on the internet. I've heard it. Oh good, we're done. Perhaps he should be spending his time suing that other guy. Cut this off. Okay, here's the horrible secret about slacker comedies. Making them is actually a lot of really hard work. Cheech and Chong didn't get high at all during Up in Smoke. They were too busy filming a goddamn movie. Apparently no one involved with making this movie understood that, because even as a specialist in unneeded star vehicle cash-ins, this is one of the laziest attempts at filmmaking that I have ever seen.
Yeah, this movie's bad. I wouldn't bother checking it out even if you do smoke weed. I'd suggest watching a movie that's naturally already funny, so that when you watch it high, it can be 10 times as funny, instead of eking out the lowest laugh per minute ratio you could possibly get from a supposed comedy by watching this.
I don't care how much pot you smoke. You don't smoke enough that this will ever be funny. You don't get high to watch this movie because it'll make it funnier. You get high because it numbs the pain. So what, you got drunk, so what, you smoke weed? I'll tell you so what. You were so wasted you didn't bother writing a film or learning how to act.
Totally. So, I'm the Rap Critic. You don't have to like my opinion, but I don't have to like your movie.
You didn't have to watch it either. Why did we?